Charlie and Colin Morgan were a happy couple from Sydney, Australia, but both of them suffered from a condition known as dwarfism. They wanted to start a family and have children, but doctors warned them against it as their condition may cause complications. They didn't take medical advice and conceived a child. But what happened next shocked not only the doctors, Charlie, and Colin, but the rest of the world. Charlie and Colin were the perfect couple, and they lived a happy life together in a beautiful suburb in Sydney, Australia. They shared a lot of the same interests and had a lot in common, and when they first met during their time at college, they hit it off almost immediately. Once they started chatting, they found out that they got along naturally, and it wasn't long before the two became an item. But the fact remained that both Charlie and Colin were suffering from dwarfism. Charlie suffered from a form of dwarfism called achondroplasia. This is a genetic condition that affects a protein in the body called the fibroblast growth factor receptor. With this particular protein functioning abnormally, it drastically slows down the growth of bones and cartilage. Luckily, people who have achondroplasia can live long, normal, and happy lives with only delayed and stunted development during their infancy. On the other hand, Colin suffered from a form of dwarfism called geliophysic dysplasia. This is a rarer and more serious form that affects many parts of the body. It most commonly affects the bones, joints, heart, and skin, and it is a progressive condition, meaning it continues developing throughout the person's life. Because it affects the heart and the lungs, around a third of the babies suffering from geliophysic dysplasia die before the age of 5. Luckily, if you make it past that point, you're relatively in the clear. Colin was one of the lucky ones. This is the long-winded way of saying that these two star-crossed lovers had underlying medical issues that they had to deal with, and that's before we even get onto the social issues. People would mock them and laugh at them. People would make fun of their small stature and call them all kinds of mean and hurtful names. Thankfully, both Charlie and Colin were thick-skinned and didn't let such abuse get to them. So strong was their relationship that they decided they wanted to start a family. They had been married for several years by that point, and they owned their own home, so having a child was the next natural step. However, despite their best efforts, they were struggling to conceive. The miracle of life is still largely a mystery, and even though there was nothing wrong with Charlie's eggs or Colin's sperm, the goal of falling pregnant still eluded them. The pair decided that they should check in with their doctor. Perhaps he would be able to run some tests or give them some hints and tips on how to successfully conceive a child. But when they arrived at the hospital, they were not expecting the news that they were given. The doctor strongly advised against the pair having children. They had strong reservations about the safety and health of the child. If two people with dwarfism conceived a child, there is a strong chance that the baby will inherit the condition from one or both of the parents. If they got a double dose of the dwarfism gene, then the likelihood of stillbirth was massively increased. It was a serious risk that Charlie and Colin needed to think about. Doctors advised that if they conceived and the child died in the womb, the consequences could be fatal for Charlie. There were always inherent risks when someone with dwarfism became pregnant, and it was a doctor's job to try to protect life rather than put it in danger. They wouldn't have been doing their jobs correctly if they had allowed Charlie and Colin to continue trying to conceive without being fully informed of what could potentially go wrong. Still, there was hope. The child might only inherit the dwarfism gene from only one of the parents. In fact, there was around a 25% chance that it wouldn't inherit it at all, and they would produce an average baby that would grow like someone without dwarfism. It was a game of numbers, a game of chance, and a game of risk. Before long, though, Charlie discovered that she was in fact pregnant. The couple had largely stopped trying, so the news was a surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one. The pregnancy went without a hitch, and Charlie eventually gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, Tilda, who inherited achondroplasia, her mother's form of dwarfism. Then less than 2 years later, the couple had their second child, another girl they named Tully. She also inherited achondroplasia from her mother. After Tilda and Tully were born, Charlie set up an Instagram account. On it, she shared photos, videos, and stories about her family's life. People from around the world took a great interest in this family of people who were all suffering from dwarfism, and it wasn't long before Charlie had amassed hundreds of thousands of followers. The followers all supported her and praised the family for being so strong and open. In return, Charlie would open up her family's life, and share intimate details of how the family felt and coped. In one of her posts, Charlie candidly wrote, "One of the most difficult times for me was Christmas 2018. It was a period of pressure and frustration. I had postpartum exhaustion and lived on less than 4 hours of sleep per night for almost a year. I went back to work when Tully was only 4 months old, and it was very difficult for me. All this time, Colin and I didn't exist as a couple or even as humans. We were just the parents. But things weren't always so bad." In another post, she wrote, "It's a continuous series of emotions, moments of exaggerated love and happiness, as well as a desire to have 10 more children one after another. It doesn't matter how your week went. Even if it seems that you made a mistake with someone or something, you should know it's not true. You didn't make a mistake. You're doing your best. No one will ever be a better mother for your children than you are. Nothing gives me more confidence in life than my children." Buoyed by the warm response from the legion of followers and supporters, Charlie and Colin once again tried for another child, eventually conceiving and, of course, sharing the news on social media. They documented the highs and lows of the pregnancy, but there was one big twist that no one could have ever predicted, something that left Charlie, Colin, and the many supporters and followers from around the world shocked beyond all belief. The third child, miraculously, was completely free of dwarfism. He had not inherited the dwarf gene from either his mother or his father. That meant that despite all the odds, the third and final child was completely healthy and would grow up to be a normal height. He would one day tower over his parents. Everyone was shocked by the news, with many believing it to be a miracle. The odds were very much stacked against Charlie and Colin, but despite that, they had given birth to not one but 3 amazing children. Doctors ran all kinds of tests and checks, but they soon confirmed it. The third child had no trace of the dwarf gene in his body. The chances of the child avoiding the gene were incredible, and medical staff were shaken by this development. They had initially criticized Charlie and Colin for proceeding to have children, but they had quickly been proven wrong. "I've coped with the criticism for choosing to have babies with these odds of them having dwarfism, but that's a whole conversation in itself," said Charlie via her social media channels. "I just want to say that bringing a child into the world with my odds is no simple decision." Despite what people told them and against medical advice, Charlie and Colin had not only had 2 healthy children with dwarfism, but also a perfectly healthy child untouched by the condition. The chances of that happening were slim, but they managed to pull it off. It just goes to show that even though the odds may be heavily stacked against you, the chances of complete failure are very rarely zero. Their journey didn't stop there. As their children grew, so did the challenges and the triumphs. Tilda and Tully, being close in age, were best friends and inseparable. They went to the same preschool, and Charlie documented their milestones and struggles with school life. The challenges of raising children with dwarfism became more apparent as they grew older. Tilda had to undergo multiple surgeries to help with her bone development, and Tully faced several medical procedures to aid her mobility. Each time, Charlie and Colin faced these hurdles with unwavering strength and optimism. As they navigated the healthcare system, they became advocates for others with similar conditions. Charlie used her social media platform to raise awareness about dwarfism and the importance of medical care and support for those affected. She shared resources, connected families, and provided a community for those who often felt isolated. Her efforts garnered attention from various organizations, and she was invited to speak at conferences and events, further spreading her message of hope and resilience. Colin, too, played an essential role in their advocacy. He started a blog where he discussed the challenges and triumphs of being a father with dwarfism. He wrote about the importance of representation and inclusion in media and society. His blog post resonated with many readers, and soon, he had a following of his own. Together, Charlie and Colin became a powerful voice for change, fighting for the rights and recognition of people with dwarfism. The couple's third child, Max, who did not have dwarfism, brought a different dynamic to the family. As Max grew, it became evident that he would, indeed, be of average height. This presented unique challenges for the family. Charlie and Colin had to navigate raising a child who would physically outgrow them. They approached this with the same love and understanding that they did everything else. Max was aware of his uniqueness in the family and was taught to embrace it while being supportive of his sisters. As the years went by, the Morgan family continued to face various challenges and triumphs. Tilda and Tully excelled in their studies, proving that their condition did not define their abilities. They participated in extracurricular activities, with Tilda showing a keen interest in music and Tully excelling in art. Max, on the other hand, developed a passion for sports, particularly basketball, where his height advantage became evident. Despite their different interests and physical attributes, the siblings remained close, supporting each other in all their endeavors. The Morgans also faced societal challenges, particularly in how people perceived and treated them. Charlie and Colin taught their children to handle ignorance and prejudice with grace and dignity. They educated those around them about dwarfism and the importance of acceptance and inclusion. Their community involvement and advocacy work made a significant impact, creating a more inclusive environment for people with disabilities. Charlie and Colin's story attracted media attention, and they were featured in several documentaries and interviews. They shared their journey, emphasizing the importance of family, love, and perseverance. Their story inspired many, and they received letters and messages of support from people all over the world. Some shared their own experiences with dwarfism, while others simply expressed admiration for the Morgans' strength and resilience. One of the most significant challenges the family faced was when Colin experienced a severe health scare related to his geliophasic dysplasia. He developed complications that required urgent medical attention and surgery. This was a trying time for the family, but their strong bond and support for each other saw them through. Charlie kept their followers updated on social media, sharing both the difficulties and the small victories during Colin's recovery. The outpouring of support from their online community was overwhelming and provided much-needed encouragement. Through all these experiences, the Morgan family continued to grow stronger. They celebrated milestones together, from birthdays to school graduations, always emphasizing the importance of family and togetherness. They took family trips, explored new places, and made memories that would last a lifetime. Despite the ups and downs, their love for each other remained unwavering. In conclusion, the journey of Charlie and Colin Morgan is a testament to the power of love, resilience, and the human spirit. Despite the medical and societal challenges they faced, they built a life filled with love, joy, and purpose. Their story continues to inspire and uplift those who hear it, proving that no matter the odds, love and determination can overcome any obstacle. ### additional nuances and happenings. The journey of the Morgans didn't end with their children growing up. It evolved into new and exciting chapters. As Tilda and Tully entered their teenage years, they began to experience the typical trials and tribulations of adolescence, compounded by the unique challenges of living with dwarfism. Peer pressure, identity, and self-esteem were common themes, but the family tackled these head-on with open communication and support. Tilda, with her love for music, decided to join the school choir. Initially, she faced some teasing due to her stature, but her beautiful voice soon won over her peers. She even performed a solo at a school concert, earning a standing ovation. This experience boosted her confidence and solidified her passion for singing. Charlie and Colin were immensely proud and continued to encourage her musical pursuits. Tully, on the other hand, expressed her creativity through art. She participated in local art competitions and even won a few awards. Her artwork, often inspired by her experiences and perspectives as a person with dwarfism, gained recognition and appreciation. Her pieces were displayed in local galleries, and she was invited to speak about her work at various events. This exposure not only built her self-esteem, but also raised awareness about dwarfism in the art community. Max, as the tallest member of the family, sometimes felt out of place, but was always mindful of his parents' teachings about empathy and support. He became a star player on his school's basketball team, which brought its own set of challenges. There were moments when he faced difficult questions from curious classmates about his family, but he handled them with maturity and grace. Max's teammates and friends admired his strength and the love he showed for his family. Charlie and Colin continued their advocacy work, expanding their reach and impact. They collaborated with various organizations to promote the rights and inclusion of people with disabilities. Their efforts led to policy changes in local schools, ensuring better support and accessibility for students with disabilities. They also started a foundation that provided resources and support for families affected by dwarfism, helping them navigate the medical, social, and emotional challenges they faced. As their children grew older, the Morgans faced the bittersweet task of preparing them for independence. Tilda expressed a desire to study music at a prestigious conservatory, while Tully wanted to pursue a degree in fine arts. Max, with his athletic prowess, aimed for a scholarship to play college basketball. Charlie and Colin supported their dreams, providing guidance and encouragement while preparing themselves for the inevitable day when their children would leave the nest. The day finally came when Tilda received an acceptance letter from the conservatory. It was a moment of immense pride and joy for the family. Tully also received an offer from a renowned art school, and Max secured a basketball scholarship. The Morgans celebrated these achievements, knowing that their children were ready to face the world with confidence and resilience. As empty nesters, Charlie and Colin found new ways to stay connected with their children and continued their advocacy work. They traveled to various parts of the world, speaking at conferences and sharing their story. They also took the time to reconnect as a couple, enjoying the quiet moments and reflecting on their incredible journey. The Morgan family's story is a powerful reminder that with love, determination, and support, anything is possible. Despite the challenges and obstacles, they built a life filled with joy, purpose, and fulfillment. Their legacy continues to inspire and uplift those who hear it, proving that no matter the odds, love and resilience can overcome any obstacle.